Hello, everyone. This is going to be a little bit different of a video because I don't have a lot of footage of me actually building. I was just doing the work and I was up there majority of the time by myself. So I just have a lot of photos to share. So let me get started. Before I got started, I did all these drawings at home months prior, trying to get everything ready that I could because everything had to be on paper or downloaded on my phone because we have no internet. So I drew all this stuff up and I decided on a 12 by 16 structure because that's was in code 200 square feet. But then I wanted the walls high enough to build a loft. And so this is kind of what I drew up right here. And then I sent it out to engineering. I used Claude AI. It was the only thing at the time to try to get some sort of numbers and put stuff together and make sure my math was working for my walls. And because we get 12 to 18 feet of snow there, average a year, we've had up to like 30 feet of snow, and the structural load for a roof or snow load is I think it was 225 pounds per square foot. And so most of your cabins, like your cabin kits, they're only like 40 to 70 pounds per square foot. So without a lot of hassle, they weren't going to work up there. So that's why I didn't do that. Okay, I did footers on the last video I did, showed you how I did those. So I decided to do beams. I did treated wood, 8 foot by 12 foot, four of them together, a set of three. And then you just laid those across the block, and my cabin was going to be floating on top of these beams. That way, if my footers moved, the cabin would have room to move on those beams without binding the windows or the doors. That was my thought. So, believe it or not, from the first day I got here and started grading all the way to this spot where I got the three beams up, I've been up there only 12 days by myself. Long days. It was sun up till 9 o'clock at night. So I was getting pretty goddamn tired. Hosh and I going to bed. Ready, Hosh? Ready to go to bed? Are you ready? Oh, let's go. Let's go to bed. She's tired. Just a quick reminder, anybody who hasn't seen the other videos, I had to carry everything up from the bottom of the hill or throw it on top of my truck and drive it halfway up the hill. Still, everything was manhandled to get it up here, just to let everybody know. Doing so, I was making great progress. These are, I believe, 12-inch boards is what I was using for the floor joists. I just got to say, you got to make sure everything is square. Double check, triple check that you're square. Really important. That way your walls will go up square. Well, everything looks calm, except it started to get dark. And I don't mind a little rain, but this started looking a little scary. So I'm hoping it passes. It's really not moving very much. I ran down and covered what I can. See what happens. As I went along with the floor joists, I decided to add this stainless steel mesh, trying to keep critters out from digging into the insulation, the floor insulation. I saw online that there was a big problems. So I put these strips in and I nailed them to each one of the floor joists and doubled it up and just did the best I can to make sure there was no small spot for a little mouse to get in. Rain was a constant threat. We had a little bit of rain, but I was constantly running back and forth, covering stuff up, always worrying about what was going to happen at night also, so I had a lot of wood out and plywood out, just a little stressful here and there. I put in real tight foam board in here, and then I put that R19 insulation on top of it. and to try to close it all up to get some insulation on that floor. My son was coming out here pretty soon to help me with some trusses. I had the trusses engineered to that drawing at the beginning of this video, and they were shipped out and ready to go. So I was trying to get this floor complete, and I got it done. Actually, it was pretty quick. It made it seem quick anyway. I mean, I was working 14-hour days. Free square. My son got there with his Marine buddy, and it was perfect timing. I just started doing the headers for the windows, and I had some of the stuff cut and ready to go. So they got there, and man, we just blew through these walls. I mean, it was just a couple of days, and the walls were up. This was the 4th of July weekend that they were out, so we were really kicking some ass, and we needed to get the walls square, make sure that everything was right before we started with the trusses. Another thing I wanted to mention is the headers. The headers above the window, super important how to build. As soon as I figure out how to link some of these people I learned from on YouTube, I will link them to these things. There were some old timers that were showing me how to do woodwork. Remember, I've never built anything out of wood before. I'm a concrete steel guy. Never have done woodwork or, cut a couple 2x4s, but nothing like this have I ever done. Here's the loft. I'm standing in it. This is why we need to get a skylight up here or something. Look at the view from our loft. Here's the inside. Look, it's me standing. A lot of room there, a foot above my hand. There was nothing like the feeling of this thing actually coming together after you've had it on paper. Then you've been out here trying to get it done. My hands were really in bad shape right now from carrying all this wood up and sawing and everything else. That's Kaz right there. There's Shay, my son. Huge help. Huge help getting me this far along and taking some of the pressure off me. Now getting the trusses up, well, first of all, just getting them up the mountain, we had to carry those suckers up. What a pain in the ass. And to actually set them, even though they were pre-built, man, it was exhausting and a lot of time, very time consuming to get those things up. And then you had all these end caps, these ends, I don't even know what they're called, to put on for the little bit of overhang. Then you're like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. So you start to have to add all this little detail stuff that I wasn't really thinking about in my drawings on with those trusses, And the trusses are also like 2 feet apart. So you have to fill in between. Night views were awesome though. They're awesome. It was getting hot up there. So we did this tarp thing, try to keep everybody out of the sun because we were cutting wood and just throwing it up nonstop to try to get it done. The other issue that I had is this freaking roof. 12 by 12 pitch. I think maybe I should have done it, a 10 to 12 or something like that. It is so steep and so hard to get on and put plywood on. Extremely dangerous, extremely hard. And at that point, I was completely by myself. Shay and Kaz were gone. They didn't have any time left. They had to get back and for work and whatnot. And I was up throwing up plywood. So we had all the 2x4s and everything up, but the plywood and all that was left to me. Saw my first Starlink satellites going by. I didn't know what the hell it was at first. Thought we were being invaded. But let's get on with this generators. Running at altitude is a huge problem that I didn't even foresee coming. I had a Generac IQ 3500 that was pretty damn quiet, lasted to this point, and the piston went out, started blowing smoke everywhere, and it was done. So I drove down Home Depot. It's an hour out of it's in 2 hours. It's like half your day up and back. And I grabbed a Westinghouse from Home Depot, a 4650, brought it back up, and it wouldn't even run. I couldn't even power a. I couldn't power my skill saw. So I had to take that back down again and end up picking up the a Champion 7850, and and that's when I was after researching, after you go down, I get Wi-Fi again. I had to get an altitude kit. So I had to order an altitude kit. It didn't come right away, but that Champion was big enough to power everything that I needed at that time. I do have a kit on it. Another thing that you can do is you have a dual fuel. If you put it up to your propane, you don't have to have an altitude kit. But I didn't know any of this at that time. I hope somebody out there before they're at altitude and have to go and blow through money like I did. Thank God Home Depot took back the Westinghouse without question. I mean, I went up the mountain, filled it up with gas, put the oil in it, didn't start. I had to drain out the fluids, but Home Depot took it back without question, which was awesome. Also realized that I had broken glass. Didn't know until, trying to install it. Saw it. Home Depot again, replaced it, had a driver drive it back out to me the next day. So that was pretty good at Home Depot. Again with this roof, frickin' killer. I mean, good way to get yourself killed is building a 12 by 12 pitch roof. Again, I hope this saves somebody's life because it almost cost me my own life a dozen times on that frickin' roof. Here, I just wanted to show I did a little seal plate that I just made it. Try to keep the snow and water from going up underneath the door frame and getting into the cabin. So I wish I'd got better pictures, but I did do a little metal piece. Just got to think about water getting underneath that door. I kind of did the same thing for the windows. I taped around all the windows and put that cloth underneath it, waterproofing, to try to seal everything up the best that I can. Again, it's just what I've seen online. So I did that to all the windows also. All right, well, I don't want this video to go too long. I don't know how long somebody wants to watch it and keep their interest. So I'll leave it here. The next video is going to be the rest of the cabin build to get it dried in and get the metal on. If anybody has any questions, ask them. If somebody needs help or wants some more information or another video on one of the details, I can definitely do that. I just want somebody to build something a little bit smoother than what I did. Good luck.